Hey, so we are back with session 10 of our deep study of character unit. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about setting. When you think about setting, it's helpful to pay attention to the author's very specific language. This helps you grasp the mood, atmosphere, norms, tempo of the place. Those things can matter in deep and hidden ways to a character. And that seems like, well, we've kind of done this work for setting, right? But what I really want you to kind of do today is you're going to look back at some of the setting work that you've done and look at some specific language, some language that that the author uses, and it's very purposeful. So we're talking a little bit about author's purpose when we're looking at this setting. There's real reasons, and it really pushes kind of why a character does what they do, and it kind of explains that for us. So I want to look back at popularity, because when we read popularity, we didn't talk about setting that much. That was when we did most of our character work, but now we know that setting can influence our character. So I want to go back and just look at a couple things. I pulled one sentence. While the two Allens face off, I looked across the black tar and asphalt at a crowd of boys who were, and so I stopped there because that's some setting work. If you remember in popularity, you had Will with these Allens, and they would always be looking for four-leaf clovers, and he was really miserable in his status at the school. And so when he would start longing to be popular, he would look at the other crowd of laughing boys and just the popular kids who would play and hang out. And so he described it as looking across the black tar and asphalt. So think about those: black tar and asphalt. When I think about those words, like, it feels dark to me. And so they seem to emphasize that darkness, a dark, sticky, hot mess. Because when I think about asphalt, it's dirty, sticky, dark. And so if Adam Bagdasarian decided he wanted to create a different mood, he could have written it something like, I looked across the green grass and blooming flowers. The sun was shining brightly with a warm glow. How would that have read differently? How would that atmosphere change our character? If it was green grass and blooming flowers, like, your mood is lifted. And so setting really projects a mood onto the reader. And so it also can project a mood onto our characters. How would the setting and this description of the setting actually affect Will? Both literally and figuratively, he's in a sticky place. He feels stuck in his situation. He wants to not be hanging out with the Allens. And then when he looks at the actual setting, it feels the same way. It's not like he's in a sticky place, but then he looks over and it's beautiful, right? The setting matches the feeling that tar and asphalt suggests for us. And so I just want to throw up this chart for you. We're kind of adding this into the work that we do. And I want you to notice how I returned to a text and I reread a part that I thought was important to the setting. I looked for specific words that could be meaningful. I also thought about, like, how were those words conveyed? I really considered the insights that this might give the character's relationship to the place. He thinks it's dark and sticky, so his relationship is, I'm in a dark and sticky place. I remember thinking that Will seemed trapped in his environment, and it seems like the mood was pretty grim. But it wasn't until I looked back at the actual words that I see the author chose specific words to create that feeling. You can do this work too. You can look back at specific passages you marked and see if the author used particular language that we call figurative or suggestive. Those evoke images and feelings and moods. And that's the work that you'll do in your books.